Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Matt and welcome to another Gran Turismo update. It is Gran Turismo's 1.60 update. Like we've seen before with previous monthly updates, not too much to really discuss here today. However, there was a recent event that happened within the last couple of weeks that may include a precursor as to what we can see in the forthcoming Gran Turismo game. So stay tuned for that. With this update, we've got, of course, 3 new cars. First one being the 1992 Lancia Delta HF Integral Rally car. This is honestly a really cool car to have in this game, finally. With all of the rally cars that we have, it really hasn't been updated, that Group B section category of cars. So to be able to have yet another rally car is, in my mind, extraordinary, especially this one with such recent heritage. Then we've got the 1987 Citroen BX19 TRS. You can get that in the used car dealership for 30,000 credits. And then the very weirdly named 2021 Citroen 2008 you can get from the used car dealership for 29,000 credits. The Lancia you can get at the Legend Car dealership for actually a pretty good deal for 300,000 credits. I think it's a pretty good deal for the cost of most other rally cars. I want to say most of them are probably in the 400,000 range, so this is, I think, on the cheaper side of it, which is pretty cool. Another noteworthy thing to come out of this update is Sophie AI 2.1 is trucking. It's trucking away, and yet another track has been updated. We've got Alsace, which, as you can tell here from all this racing going on right now, that yes, you can have Group B Sophie AI races now, which is pretty fun. Furthermore, we've got some more things to have been added. We've got World Circuits, 3 new events. 3 is our lucky number today by the sounds of it. We've got the Willow Springs International Raceway Streets of Willow Springs Reverse, and it's a Sunday Cup. Then in honor of the Group B car here, we have the Colorado Springs Lake. It is the World Rally Challenge Group B. And then finally, last but not least, it is the Watkin Glens Short Circuit Course. It's the European Sunday Cup 400. I think that would be in honor of, I don't remember seeing the PowerPoint limit for the Citroen nor the Peugeot, but I think one of the 2 of them would probably be it. Of course, with each of these updates, for those collectors out there, there's some new stuff to collect. It is Classic Mercedes. So that is extra menu book 46. Some very high value vehicles in that one. So if you haven't already got them, it is definitely something that you can look forward to. God, these guys are just not having it today. Of course, we've got some more engine swaps. It's the Lexus RCF 2014, the Nissan Skyline K, DS Selection S13, the Nissan Silvia K Type S, and then the Nissan Fairlady 300ZX, as well as the Subaru BRZ XS 2021. Scapes, for those still doing Scapes, Scotland is now in the curation section, which is fun. And then that's pretty much the extent of it here. So yeah, like I said, it's quite a not too bad update. Got a couple new cars. Sophie AI is still being updated, and we got some rewards to look for collecting cars, so not too bad. So this was an interesting one, is just in the last couple of weeks, Gran Turismo 7 had the first round of the 2025 World Series, but immediately after that, Kazunori Yamauchi had taken a flight from the UK over to France to witness the 24 Hours Le Mans. Now, what's interesting is I don't recall this happening in previous years, but it was very interesting that because this was, I think, the first time in a while that Kazunori has actually done the 24 Hours Le Mans. He was there as a spectator, not necessarily as a driver. but this was the first time that he was there in a while, so he actually took a lot of photos. And this, in my mind, was kind of a glimpse into what he's interested in recently. And would you know, it's quite exciting. So first and foremost, he is making mention that there was the Toyota TS020 from the 90s on display, and the Toyota hypercar, the GR010, had a special 24-hour Le Mans livery that looked like it was inspired by that car. So the fact that he is noticing hypercars, especially the more recent ones, is a good sign. He's showing that interest in that heritage of that Toyota as well. This is the one that really caught, I think, everybody's attention. His comment was, the Porsche 963 is in good shape. The Valkyrie V12 is sexy in sound. And he's got both a photo of the 963 and the Valkyrie there. And in my mind, this is kind of what I was expecting in a good way. So my thought was, noticing how he's chosen cars for this game, is he would have a couple of recent cars, a couple of cars from 5 years ago, a couple of cars from 10 years ago in a particular category. So my thought is, he's already got the GR010 modeled in the 2021 version, so we might have to do a couple updates to the car model there to make it the 2025 version. But as far as like licensing goes and whatnot, it's just really easy to stick with cars that you've already got, or car manufacturers that you've already got licensed. So in my mind, the 963 we can potentially expect for the next Gran Turismo game, because we already have the Porsche license. It would be kind of dumb to not have that in my mind. In my mind, also, same goes with the Ferrari 499P. For something like the Acura or the Cadillac, I mean, I think there are important enough vehicles to come out of America recently that he might want to go after that Cadillac license, the Acura one. You've got Honda, so that's kind of an interesting one, but that's kind of my thought process on that at the very least. The next interesting car that he happened to post was actually an Alpine. It wasn't the Alpine hypercar by any stretch of the imagination, but it was actually the Alpine's head designer who had actually gone ahead and designed a hydrogen car by the sounds of it, which is pretty sweet. And again, this is something very unique in my mind that I think Kaz would definitely be very interested in. It's a unique concept car, and it's not a Vision Gran Turismo, but it is another car that, again, already has the Alpine license. So it'd be kind of fun to have this non-Vision Gran Turismo based concept car for, you know, the 2020 decade to be introduced in the next Gran Turismo game. So again, that was pretty interesting. Another one that I found cool was that he had posted that it was a reunion for himself and the head designer of Peugeot. He designed the Peugeot Vision Gran Turismo. And then he goes, Peugeot is now rebooting the 205 GTI, which could be the next car that he wants to add. It would be a good time to start a new project. Please note what car they're photographed in front of. It is the Peugeot hypercar. That is the least subtle of subtle hints you can give, but regardless, fun. And then, of course, one of the last photos that he happened to post was, again, actually the 963, but it's the RSP, the one-of-one road-legal version of the Porsche 963. So in my mind, that is exactly what I needed to know to be able to kind of get in the ideas, the headspace that Kazunori Yamauchi is in currently. No photos of the LMGT3s, only a handful of LMDH cars that are being photographed. But very interestingly, he is still looking at recent modern day concept cars. Again, not with the Vision Gran Turismo branding. So that one is pretty cool in my mind. He's still looking around, he's still getting involved with recent vehicles. But this is the interesting part that I wanted to touch on, is I honestly kind of feel bad for the guy, because if you look at every one of the photos, it is just people screaming in the comments section, add this car, add this car, add this car, and all of them are Le Mans-based racers, again, the LM GT3 category, the LMDH. And even with non-Le Mans related photos, if it's just talking about the World Series or a recent update, it's still filled in the comment section of those comments of add LMDH and add LMGT3. So I think he's aware that you guys are looking for that. But the interesting thought process that I had is maybe he's purposely not going down that direction, because for the first time we actually have direct competition. And that's the fact that Le Mans has its own game now. It's called Le Mans Ultimate, with all the LMDH cars and all the LMGT3 cars. I would hope that he would pick at least 3 or 4 LMGT3 cars and add them to the next Gran Turismo game. We don't need all of them, but at least showing that you're noticing that there's been new cars out of the GT3 category in the last 15 years would be nice. But I don't think we have to remind him anymore about the LMDH, because I think it is very much so well on his radar. And instead of trying to add all of the LMDH cars, I think he's already found a couple that he's very interested in, that he's currently working on. Is my speculation. Of course, he could just be like one of us and just taking photos of cool cars, and there could be absolutely nothing to read into them. So that's my speculation space, if you will. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys are thinking. If you guys are thinking that he's leading us on to something, if there's actually some validity to this, or if he's just one of us and he's just car spotting and just letting us know what he's interested in these days. So again, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We've got a lot more fun content coming down the lane, so stay tuned for all those. And again, thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great day today. Take care. Bye!